So I was talking to someone recently about some old fighting games that are not available on the PC platform. And he was like, since these developers are much richer and much powerful than they were before, why haven't they ported some of their old PS2 or PS3 games to PC? Since the money is there now and people are loving fighting games. So I mean, why does the Tekken there sports Tekken 1, 2, 3, and 4, maybe 5 to PC? Why are they keeping them hostage on the old platforms? And I believe I need to make a video to explain why this doesn't happen. Now, the Capcom situation is different because one of these bigger YouTubers out there called Max managed to build up a large movement for the old Marvel vs. Capcom games on the old platforms. He managed to make a movement so big and so high that Capcom could not ignore it. So they managed to fulfill that demand by selling the very first Marvel fighting collection. And it managed to sell well, which they got lucky enough to get another collection, which completed the amount of games that were in those old arcade and PS2 ports. Now you might be wondering, why doesn't Tekken do stuff like that? Well, it's because the investors or the company itself that owns the Tekken devs, which is Banana Namco, they don't see the investment or the money working out for the amount of efforts they will take to put the game to PC. Now, if you wanted an old game that was on an older platform to come to PC, well, there needs to be a demand for it. There needs to be like millions of people around the world that are there ready to buy that old game in masses, so that investors or people be like, oh, there's interest in this IP or this product. So, I mean, people can buy off this old stuff of us. If there's not much interest or much like shouts for these games to come to the platform that they are needed in, nobody will invest in it, and nobody in the company will greenlight, porting a bunch of collections, the second collection on PC. Nobody will greenlight that because they don't see the money in that. That's the reason why the devs do not let this stuff happen. And you can see this happening in one of the worst scenarios, which was with Darkstalkers. They managed to port a bunch of Darkstalkers collections together and try to sell it to us. And well, it didn't sell as well as it hoped. Now, for an old game, it sold well. People bought it. People were ready to, enjoy Darkstalkers. But did it have the insane staying power of other games? No, it did not. So that is why the game didn't manage to excel in that field, which is depressing for the vampire survival fans. But it's how the business rolls. So I hope that the community can understand why old fighting games don't come back. Because me, I would really hope and want a Dead or Alive port on PC, a Tekken port on PC, a Virtual Fighter, the first to fourth game, all of them on PC. The Samurai Shodown, which they also managed to get one, so wow, kind of lucky on that front. But some old arcade fighters that people don't really pay attention to that much, it's a really be lovely if they were on PC, available. Like you can go on Steam or GOG and buy right there. But it's unfortunate that these are the cards we're dealt with. Now, if you want a game that you enjoyed back in the day to come back hardly, it's also like volleyball. Well, you kind of have to make a lot of noise about it, build up like mass and hype around that game, and keep like inviting people to the community, make noise about it. Like you have to like get guys on board with this so loud that the company can ignore you. Which is what Max William managed to achieve because he's a large content creator, and that's how he was able to bring back more business Capcom in the public eye. If I had that level of power, like I was saying, power, I would have dragged that blood from hell because there's no in hell an idea that good just dies off. Like there's no freaking hell that can happen. But well, I ain't that powerful yet, so till next time. So that's why old games don't come to PC. So take it as a good result and good night.